When we come back, Japan's hugest wrestling star, Kenny Omega, joins us in the Coors side seats.
This is a story about a Canadian guy who's at the apex of a multi-billion-dollar industry, and nobody's talking about it.
If Elvis was a wrestler and living in 2018, he might be Kenny Omega.
I want to make professional wrestling about unity and equality.
It was really important to me to see queer stories on TV, and I never thought I would see one in wrestling.
Men and women crying in the audience. Something is connecting.
Engraved on a Nation continues with Omega Man, a wrestling love story on TSN.
Well, you got me hooked. Look who's here. Omega Man, Kenny Omega, into the Coors side seats.
Hello, great to be here.
What do you want people to take away from this documentary?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, I just hope at the end of the day that they're entertained and maybe they open their mind to professional wrestling. If they aren't fans, of course. So that would be people like me, for example. I'm not a fan anymore. So I try to take that side of pro wrestling where let's make it universally entertaining for everyone and tell, deeper stories than what we're used to seeing on television in the year 2019. So if a person who's never watched wrestling or fell out of love with wrestling watches this documentary and finds it exciting or just takes something interesting away from it, I'm happy.
And speaking of including more people, you were part of a tag team called the Golden Lovers.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain the concept of the tag team to people who don't know?
Yeah, okay, so back in Canada and in the American Indies, I was just a real athletic dude doing professional wrestling. And I never felt that there was anyone active on the scene that was quite like me until I saw this video, a DVD, of this guy named Kota Ibushi. And as soon as I saw the video of this guy, I was inspired. And I felt, I have to meet this guy, I have to work with this guy, and I feel that we can do something very special and something very unique together that no one has ever seen before. So I had the chance to go there and wrestle him. And at first we were rivals, so we fought against each other, and then we developed a real-life friendship. And I was just supposed to be a one-and-done guy, go to Japan for one trip, and I'll never be seen ever again. I thought I could retire happily, and that would be my wrestling career.
Right.
But we developed this relationship, and there's supposed to be 2 matches, and we said, let's throw away that second match. Let's just become a tag team. Let's really do something new and cool, because when we were doing it in 2010, 11, there wasn't really much in the way of tag team stuff, and we just wanted to reinvent the entire concept of 2 guys working together in the ring. And so we traveled up and down the strip. We were lent out to various promotions in Japan. We did crossover stuff in the United States. And just through that is just it's just a very special camaraderie. And we kind of went our separate ways, came back together, and it's just a 10-year-long story that I think is 10-year? 8-year? No, 10-year-long story that is depicted in this documentary.
So you said you went over, thought you were going to have one match. That turned into a 12-year career in Japan. Had you not gone there, how different would your career look right now?
It'd be over. That'd be ball game. I don't know what I'd be doing. I mean, I was at a crossroads at one point, and I was really into mixed martial arts. I was competing in jiu-jitsu locally and within Manitoba. And I really enjoyed it, but there was something, I felt that there was something inside of me that still wanted to be a performer. So even when I was competing in jiu-jitsu and when I was sparring, I wanted to be entertaining. I wanted to put on a show for everyone. I hated winning by points in my matches. I hated when, I felt that matches were boring. So I thought I'd give it one more kick at the can. And just when I went out for what was supposed to be my farewell tour in the United States, I got scouted and went to Japan for my first trip. And again, the documentary kind of covers a lot of that, but yeah.
And now you're back in North America.
Yeah, so I mean, things have come full circle. So I had this super long career in Japan. Again, I thought at first I was gonna be in Japan for 1 month, and then that turned into over 10 years. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna end my career in Japan, but now there's this whole new big opportunity with AEW Wrestling, and I'm taking my craft and my unique style of wrestling to North America again, and I'm really excited about that too.
And you've had the opportunity to join the WWE. You haven't done so.
Yeah.
Why?
You know, there's this. I had a small little stint in WWE and their farming system, and it was called Deep South Wrestling. Right now, current day fans would probably relate to that as NXT.
Right.
And, you know, it just wasn't for me. I learned a lot. There was a lot of things that helped me take the next step after I left WWE. But I had always felt that when I had full creative control over my own person and my own ideas, that I could really, I could be the true me and the real me and show my full potential.
So you're saying you don't believe that they would have allowed you to do that?
At that stage of my career, probably not. So, I mean, 10 years later, 12 years later, maybe, yeah, you know, now would be a good time. So I was actually heavily considering going there earlier in the year. But, you know, AEW, of course, this new promotion that we've got going, that just seemed right for me. And I always get really excited at the idea of having full creative control and just doing new things, man. You know what I mean? Like there's sometimes a job where you have to really conform to a certain system, or you have to perform to a certain standard or in a certain way, or people want to manage you and then micromanage you. And this is a situation where, okay, you're going to be part of this multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company, and we're giving you the ball. So just give us Kenny Omega. And to me, that's exciting as a performer. So I felt that that was probably what was best for me as of right now.
You mentioned Manitoba. You're Canadian.
Yes.
Are you a Jets fan? Did you remain a Jets fan when you went to Japan?
Oh man, you know, I was a huge Jets fan back in the day, and
like Teemu Selanne days?
yes, yeah, we're talking Teemu Selanne days. I was like, I don't know if you guys knew, but I played hockey for a period of time. I was a goaltender, so I'm Bob Essensa's #1 fan.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
He was my favorite. But yeah, like the Jets really came into their own. I thought like the pinnacle when I was a Jets fan was when it was Bob Essensa, Keith Tkachuk, and Teemu Selanne, and you know, dudes like that. So the new Jets, you know, it's so cool that they're back in the city. Yeah. I feel like there's this brand new unity amongst the people in Winnipeg, which is really cool. And you know, we're still going in with the whiteout and all that, and just like that team spirit that was so prominent back in the day when I was a child is back. And even like, you know, my parents and my parents' friends on it, they're in the Winnipeg Jets spirit. So, hey, I'm not playing hockey anymore, but I'm glad that the spirit of ice hockey is still alive and well in Winnipeg.
I love it. Bob Essensa fan.
Yeah,
That's
great,
awesome.
great callback. Kenny, the documentary is called Omega Man, A Wrestling Love Story. It is part of our Engraved on a Nation series. We can't thank you enough for joining us today.
It's my pleasure completely. Thank you very much.
And best of luck in the new wrestling
I'll try my
series.
best.
This will be fantastic.